Hi, I'm David Gawley from Pentagon Solutions, and I want to take a look at Revit walls and explore the various options that we actually have with walls. You can see them in my Revit interface in my ground floor plan, so I'm going to go to Basics. And in Basics I have my wall. Now walls are known as what's called system families, so they're actually in the template. So if I click on wall, you can see the list of various walls that I actually have access to. The wall that I'm commonly would use would be the cavity wall, standard UK cavity. We've got 102 brick, we've got 50, we've got mil air gap, we've got 45 insulation, and we've got 100 mil blockwork. So when I select that wall, I've got a couple options. I can actually put the wall as unconnected, so I could say, well look, I'm not attributing it or not associating it with any level, so I'm just actually clicking on the actual wall, and that wall will come in height of 1 meter. Now if I go to my 3D view, you'll actually get to see that. Now if I go to window and I'm going to tile, so you can get to see what's happening in both 3D views and the plan view, because we've got bi-directional associativity in Revit. Change in one view represents a change in all. So if I was putting another wall in, I could go to wall and I could actually say, well, let's attribute this to a height, so let's lock it into the first floor. So now I've actually bring the wall in, it's coming in against my first floor level. So when I cancel out of that, you can get to see, if I went to one of my views, my east level, you can see that's coming at the height of the first floor. Now the power of Revit is that if I actually go and change that level, say to 3200, the actual wall will lock in against that. So generally it's advisable to put your walls in using levels, but obviously that will have unconnected walls at some stage. You can change it at any stage. I can hover over one wall here, I could hit my tab key to pick them all up, and I could go into the element properties. Now I can access element properties here, or I can actually right click and go into element properties. And what we can do is we can change the actual basins for the wall. Well, I might decide that the base offset for this wall has to be minus 1200 down. So if I type in minus 1200 and hit OK, the wall will drop down. And you can see the little markers for where the actual position of the wall started. So this can all be changed as an afterthought in there. Question I'm often asked is, how would I actually do custom cuts on the wall? Well, our profiles. If you select the wall, you will see an edit profile tool. So if I go to edit profile, it'll actually break the wall back into sketch lines. Now there's nothing I can actually edit this that is of use to me in ground floor. I'm doing this in a 3D view here, so I could go back into lines and say, well look here, I want to add in an arc passing through 3 points. I want to go back to my line. Now this won't work, so if I hit finish, it's not going to let me do it because it's highlighting here that lines cannot intersect each other. So I go continue, I would need to split this. So if I go to split, I would need to remove that physical area away and finish the sketch. Obviously this is how we would do custom openings like this, so this is how we would do custom openings for, say, the likes of services. So if I went back to lines and I could do some ductwork, eventually it's going to come through here. We can actually edit that sketch. Another component of walls we can do is the attach. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise these walls out. I'm going to go back and draw a wall. I'm going to lock it into my wall plate level. I'm just going to keep it very simple there. So it's drawn my wall from my ground floor to my wall plate. So I'm going to go to my wall plate level. I'm going to tile this. I'm going to give a footprint for roof. So I'm going to go roof by footprint. I'm going to give this a 300 mm overhang. I'm going to say define slope no. So when I hover over one of my walls and hit the tab key, I've got no slopes here. So I'm going to manually add in a slope, go to slope arrow from here to here. Now with the slope you have to change the slope property, so it's going to come from this corner and slope up the way. There's two options to put the slope in. You can either specify the height at the tail, or the more common practice is the slope or pitch. I'm going to give that a slope of 5 degrees and hit finish. So now I have my roof component here, but my walls don't tie in. So rather than edit this profile manually, if I hover over one wall, hit the tab key and then left click to pick up my walls, I would use the attach command. So if I go to attach and then pick my roof, it's fully attached. The good thing about this is if I grab my roof and go to edit, and say if I decide to change the pitch, make that say 8 degrees and hit OK and finish, my walls will always be attached to that. So there's a quick few tips on Revit Walls. If you have any queries or questions, please feel free to email me on david@pent-sol.com. Thanks a lot.